with racing, then you'll love the new betting brand for racing fans. With exclusive markets, promotions, insights and content. That's better. Gamble responsibly.
This is Punters Inside Run. We're talking fantastic racing at Flemington. Simon O'Donnell is with me. And James Lamb from Punters.com joins us. Lammy, it's hard not to be excited this time of year about racing. What's your thoughts on the Flemington card?
I really like the feature race and the Blamey. 5 straight course races, though, makes punting a little bit tricky. Yeah.
Let's not talk about the last race.
No.
Let's not even go there.
No.
Let's get stuck straight into the Group 1, the Australian Guineas. Jacquinot. First go at 1600, drawn a little wide. Money says, who cares? They're backing it like there's no tomorrow.
Yeah, he's probably the best horse in the race, the most talented horse in the race, and he definitely has the best 1400 metre form. I mean, he beat the older horses in the All last start, beat some very smart gallopers. Gentleman Roy on Thunderstruck, Mr Brightside. We've seen Mr Brightside run a cracker since. Yep. It's just an awkward gate, and we've never seen him beyond 1400. So do you want to take $2.15 about a horse who hasn't seen a mile and who hasn't exactly been talked up as a miler throughout his career? He might just blow him away. Class might shine through, but I think there's a better way to approach the race from a betting perspective. I
just thought a little bit of clear air if he goes back at Flemington might suit, but Elliptical comes out of a good win in the CS Hayes, which is a good form race for this. There's a lot to come out of that race.
Yeah, and I think if Jacquinot has a chink in the armour over the mile, a horse like Elliptical by Dundee will be now looking for the mile. Yeah. I actually think probably Elliptical 2000 is going to be his pet distance, but I think he's going to be well acquitted over the mile. He'll appreciate the step up of the 200 metres. So if there's a chink in the armour, I think Elliptical runs over the top of the end. Yeah,
certainly can get to 2,000 metres, can't it? Attrition comes out of the same race. Jamie Kah takes the ride.
Yeah, I think Attrition might be able to turn the tables on Elliptical. If you swap the runs in that CS Hayes Stakes, I think Attrition probably beats Elliptical. It had clear air down the outside. I know it had to sustain a long run, but Attrition was sort of ducking and diving the whole way through. Never looked likely, but it was beaten half a length in the end. Its last 100 it really surged. So I don't think there's much between those two, and I think Attrition maybe could turn the tables on that galloper, but isn't my top pick.
We were talking about the Kiwi Imperatries in Sydney. What about the Kiwi Legato here? Proven over the mile.
Yeah, proven over the mile. I was going through it. No Kiwi-trained horse has ever won this race. And
hello to all our friends in New Zealand. Good to see you catching up. Yeah.
Plenty of good ones have had a crack too. Darcy Brahma, Extravagant, Catalyst have all come over with very similar form, if not better form, and haven't been able to get the job done. So look, faces a tough ask, but 5 from 6 arguably could be 6 from 6. It was a horror show last time. It's just, as you said earlier, it's hard to line up the Kiwi form, hard to line up the times, all that sort of thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if it won. All
right, Simon, give us your top 3. You're going out of that CS Hayes?
Yes, I am. 2, 14 and 1 for me. Elliptical, Attrition, I agree with James. I think that could go either way with luck in running, but I just love Elliptical. I think he's in for a fantastic autumn, and weight for age form's great form coming back to your own age, so you've got to throw Jacquinot in there as well.
All right, so yourself, James?
Going with Amenable, going with Jacquinot's stablemate. On a 1x3 basis, Matty, I think $3.70 the place is a great price for this horse. Got a long way back in the Caulfield Guineas from a wide gate and was really good late. It was half a length off Osipenko. I think can settle a lot closer in this from barrier 1. Just needed to run a drum. I loved its first up run. It was 21.93 for the last 400. It was the quickest last 400 of the day that day at Sandown. So I think it's come back well and looked pretty good winning a jump out over 1200 the other day. So I like Amenable 1x3.
And second and third?
Jacquinot, best horse in the race, just 1600, bit of a knock, and Attrition.
I'm playing at the top. I'm the same numbers as you, Simon, but I've got Jacquinot on top. I think Flemington will suit. And then I'll put Elliptical and Attrition in. And again, as you say, it could be either way. They're both going to be right there and they're both in for good prep. So no real surprises there. We get to the Blamey Stakes and the winner gets a wildcard entry into the All-Star Mile. I guess, Simon, it stands to reason if you like Jacquinot coming out of the CF4, then you've got to like Gentleman Roy, who's proving to be very hard to get past.
Yeah, you do, and he is hard to get past. He's just a horse that when you come up to challenge, he says, "Beauty, game on." And I think that's exactly the way he's going to race here in the Blamey. The horse that keeps catching my eye and just keeps stepping up the plate is Pounding for Pete Moody.
We underestimated last start, didn't we?
We really did. And I thought, oh, wow, hang on, take note. So I've taken note, and I think he's a genuine top 3 chance.
Okay. What did you make of Tuvalu in the CF4? 1600 is better. I mean, the 1600 form is good. Second up won a Turak and also second in a Cantal, Alligator Blood. So Tuvalu loves the mile.
Yeah, second up record, really good, as you mentioned. 6 starts over the mile for 3 wins in 3 seconds. Never been further back than top 2. I just think It meets Gentleman Roy 2 lengths worse at the weights for a 1.4 length margin last time, so I'm not sure how it turns the tables on Gentleman Roy.
Yeah. And the interesting runner for me was Bear Story. I thought it was a story about an old halfback flanker that started off against Richmond in 1987, but that is a different story. Let's have your top three for the Guineas, mate.
Yeah, Gentleman Roy, can't go away from Gentleman Roy. I think that weight for age form will hold him in very good stead. Pounding in ripping form, Peter Moody's stable's in form, and you're both going to slap me down and say, what would he know? I think Sosie Bond can run a place.
What would you know? You deserve that.
I did. I do. I deserve, and I fully expected it.
I'm paying for lunch if Sosie Bond runs a place.
He's got experience on his side. I'll give him that.
And how do you feel about gyozas and a takeaway caravan? But anyway, your top three, mate.
Gentleman Roy. Love Roy. He's been very good to me over the journey. Sticking with him. We said that Tuvalu stepping up to the mile is a big plus for that horse, but Gentleman Roy's no slouch either. He loves the mile. 3 from 4 at Flemington too. The long straight, you'd think maybe a front runner, it's not that suitable, but as Simon said, horse comes up alongside and he just finds another gear. He loves a scrap, so I think Gentleman Roy is the top pick in that and my best on the card.
And I've got Uncle Bryn. I've got the same two, top two, no surprise there. I've got Uncle Bryn speaking through the kick because I thought it might win first up, but gets the favourite distance of 1,600 metres here. So Uncle Bryn in for third. All right, your best bet and your value bet at Flemington.
Okay, race 5, number 7 for me, my best bet is I'm a Shelby. Citizenship, race 6 and number 12 is my value bet for the day. It comes down from Sydney, a 3-year-old colt, first time up the straight, which I think won't bother too much. And I've got an omen bet.
I love omen bets. Give us your omen bet.
Well, call sign Mav.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Tom Cruise, yeah. Nominated
this week.
Yeah. Best movie.
Cool. Best movie. Well, that's a whole new show. Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick.
First one was better.
Bet of the day, call sign Mav. Name your price. Let's hope Maverick's plane's a little more reliable than call sign Mav.
Talk to me, Goose. Give us your best bet and your value bet.
Roy's my best, but my next best was Timor in a race 2, number 5. So Unusual's been good to us, good to punters over this prep, but I think there's probably a little bit more scope for improvement with Timor up to 2,500. Overseas form says it will stay all day. Best value race 5, number 10, Queen Air. It's a filly on the rise. It's probably got a bigger ceiling than a lot of its rivals on Saturday. Taking on a lot of horses who have been up forever, very deep into their prep. Thought Queen Air was a bit unlucky last start after bombing the start in the Vanity, and I think third up at 1,600 looks ideal.
My best bet is the one you mentioned early in the day in Timor to get to that 2,500. Really did catch the eye over the 2,000, getting home fast last start. My best value bet is an Annabelle Neesham runner. Hopefully stays as a dual acceptor. Race 4, number 1, Lady Laguna. Keeps running on over the... last time was first up in the Gazette, and I think it just likes a good surface. So we'll go with Lady Laguna, double figure odds. Thank you, Mav.
Earth. Remember that question he was asked? Where am I? Earth.
You're on Punters Inside Run. That's exactly where you are. And after this, we're going to forget Mav. We're going to talk the perk and the perm.
If you're in love with racing, then you'll love the new betting brand for racing fans. With exclusive markets, promotions, insights and content. That's better. Gamble responsibly.